Hi, so it's Tracy at Grantham Breeder Services. I just wanted to come on and share with you an experience that we have had because I just thought it might be beneficial to some breeders and informative. So, a bit of a disclaimer, I'm not a vet at all, and I'm not saying anything derogatory about vets. I am a qualified veterinary nurse, no longer registered, but I spent several years working in veterinary practice. So what's happened recently is a young girl that we bred has had a very non-typical first season. So whereas a bitch would normally be in season for 21 days, she was actually in season for 42 days in total, and she discharged for the whole of that 42 days. Now she was separated from the male that I have in the house weeks 4 to 5. So they were separated for actually 8 days, and then they were put back together again. He was no longer interested in her, she was still discharging. Now at the time I said to my husband that I was particularly concerned because this was a very non-typical season, and I was worried about the fact that her cervix had been open for such a long period of time. So fast forward a few weeks, and she was just not herself, wasn't ill, wasn't feverish, wasn't off her food, but just not quite herself. So I had wondered, had she got a pyometra? Had she got that womb infection that I was so worried about? So I took her to my local vet. I didn't scan her, although I have the ultrasound machine. I didn't scan, I didn't do anything. I just took her to my vets. And they scanned her and they confirmed that she did in fact have a closed pyometra. And at that point in time, her uterus was dilated to 20 centimetres. Now, as I say, she wasn't representing as a sick dog, but I just knew she wasn't quite herself. Now, my vets were prepping theatre, having discovered this closed pyometra, and I asked them not to. I asked them to stand their team down and that I wouldn't be spaying her at that point. They were a little bit cross with me. They said I wasn't following their advice. And I expressed that I would like to treat it medically rather than surgically. And I know that that's possible. They actually told me it wasn't possible, but I knew it was. So I asked if they would prescribe her antibiotics and pain relief, which they did. They were great, they did that, and I left with her. Now, I didn't feel I was putting my girl at risk at all because I've got a scanner and I could monitor that uterus quite closely. And being a veterinary nurse, I can do lots of obs on her and see how she is. I actually that day rang my reproduction vet and said to him, this is the situation, can I treat this girl medically rather than surgically? To which he said, yes, of course you can. So she went up to see him. That was the following morning, so about 15 hours later than seeing my own vet, and at that point when they scanned her, her uterus was 40 centimetres dilated. Again, she'd had a breakfast, she was perfectly fine, nothing really untoward, but clearly a closed uterine infection. So she started a hormone treatment under his supervision, quite an intense course of injections. They can be quite painful, these injections. It's an oily substance that they inject. It can only be injected at a maximum of 4 mils per injection site. And so she was having 3 injections in different places along the scruff of her neck. She coped brilliantly, she was great. And alongside that, she was having an intensive course of antibiotic therapy. So she had in total 5 lots of those injections. She was scanned periodically to check how she was doing. And after 21 days, her infection had completely gone. What the hormone therapy does is it opens up the cervix and allows the infection to clear. So as many of you are aware, a closed pyometra is very dangerous. If you're going to have a pyometra, it's preferable it's open and draining. And what these drugs did was make it become open and draining, and boy did it drain. So yes, after intensive injections and antibiotic treatment. She got the all clear and she is good. She's great. And so she's reproductively active still. Had I let my vet spay her, then, that would be the end of that. It might be that we don't breed her anyway. I don't know, but I at least wanted that option. So I just wanted to share this for other breeders, because not everybody's aware that you can treat this condition medically rather than surgically. And if you've got a bitch that is particularly important to your kennel and your breeding line, it's a really good thing to do to seek advice from a reproductive expert. So yeah, I just wanted to share this and make people aware. If anyone wants to, speak to me about it, I'm more than happy. Okay, thanks for listening.